We are incredibly stupid as a species. That's not a controversial statement, as every pseudo-egghead thinks they're smarter than the average bear. But people really don't understand the depth of how stupid we are. My favorite example to go to is always Freudian psychoanalysis. Now, Freud did some things right, like separating the mind into three entities that we just accept as true today. But most of his analytical and therapeutic techniques for solving mental illness were somewhere between useless to detrimental. But until the late 1980s, you needed to be a Freudian to run a psychology department at any Ivy League university. It was just Freudians from top to bottom. Now, we treated mental illness with useless techniques for nearly a century. And this was during a time when we put a man on the moon using fancy math and spicy fireworks. Worse yet, we had the social science analytics to disprove Freudian psychoanalysis as far back as the 1940s. I'd actually argue in the 1920s based on when IQ tests were first really categorized and administered. Fun fact, IQ testing and the techniques behind it are the entire basis for social sciences. So if you ever have anyone who say IQ tests are flawed in some way, just ignore them, because their entire discipline likely relies on the analytics created from those tests. The point is, we often have things right in front of us that we don't look at despite the overwhelming evidence that they're awesome, or, well, bad in some cases with Freud. So that kind of brings me to Hydra Sorc and the Dragon rune word. Now, Dragon is the expensive set for fire dins, but interestingly, it has the ability to summon additional Hydras, which generally proc through the melee of the person using them. But my stupid ass never thought to try the extra Hydra proc on a Hydra Sorc. Now, I tried to math it out and figure out if it was worth it, but it's sort of hard to math out how fast Hydras attack, and that information isn't readily available. So I just slapped it on, and holy shit, it's faster. Like, what? It's not even, it's way faster. Like, you're giving up a potential 4 to 6 skills and the fire facets in the items from your chest and your shield, but 5 Hydras is just way faster than 3 slightly juicier Hydras. Let's get into it. Single target, the 2 extra Hydras not only allow you to do more damage, but it allows you to direct it better. So for example, if you have some minions around a boss and you need to clear those, but you want to keep directing a lot of damage on the boss because he has some heavy damaging skills like Belial. Well, you can drop 3 Hydras on the boss and put 2 around him, sort of like you do with summons on and decoys, and you'll get enough damage into the boss to keep the damage rolling and clear out the stuff around him. It's just an extra utility for directing your single target. Now that Hydras don't work like decoys, things walk right through them, so you need a juiced merc, and I'll keep saying juiced merc throughout this whole thing, because that's really what makes this class work. But it is really good single target. You got 5 Hydras dumping around 8k, 9k bolts with really good pierce into your target. 8 out of 10 here. So on to AoE. This class is really only limited by your walk speed and fire immunes. Just use Meteor as a dump skill to help your juiced merc, and even fire immune maps are in play. Here's a Throne of Insanity, which you might not find interesting until you hear that it's a 52% increased life map, and I didn't have Meteor spec when I was recording this. The extra Hydras are just really, really valuable for spreading damage out, and it helps the clear speed because the Hydras hit hard enough that it sends most enemies into hit recovery. 9 out of 10. Daddy's working. I'm not working. I'm trying to become internet famous. By internet famous, I mean like 7 people know who I am. Well, you're very cute. All right, I will stop recording and come play with you. That's fair. I hate asking for subscribers. I think it's cringe. And at the same time, I want people to watch my videos, so I'm a bit of a hypocrite. But if you want to, the sub button is here in the corner. That corner, there, right there, right there. Now, I have to give you something. So I guess if I hit 1,000 subs, which is very far off, I think I'm only around 360, something like that when I'm recording this. If I hit 1,000, I'll do a face reveal, and you all can figure out what I look like. Yeah, wouldn't that be cool? I'm recording something here, man. Bruh. Privacy. Some people. Safety. So surprisingly, this is a safe build for Sorc. You don't spend a lot of mana, so energy shield helps. And I had about 1,700 life due to the incredibly low strength requirements for a Dusk Shroud Dragon rune ward, and the strength added from the rune ward itself. Your Merc needs to be on those vitamins H, G, and H with his gear, but between a juiced Merc and 5 Hydra sending the room into hit recovery, you just kind of walk around enemies and avoid stuff. I mean, 7.5 out of 10. It's still a Sorc, so you're squishy even with a lot of life. There are sometimes I got put into a corner and had some scares, but it's pretty safe as far as Sorcs go. I think the only thing that would be safer is maybe the cold orb Sorc, just because, you know, sending everything into cold is just OP. So Ubers, I will actually give this an okay rank on Ubers. I've tried, there's like no videos of people doing Hydra Sorc on Ubers, but I did try declone with it, and knowing that, you know, regular Hydra Sorcs can do it, I really needed more fire res and better technical skill. But point being, I'm terrible at declone, and I got it down to 30%. So for Ubers, you again want to juice your Merc and dump as many rejuves into him as possible to keep the conviction aura up. But if you can do that and just avoid all the Uber's attacks, slam Hydras into them. It's just walk around class. You don't have to aim anything, so your damage uptime is going to be really, really good. And the Hydras also provide some ad control because of the 2 extra you can, like I said, place around the boss and keep 3 on him. Meteor as a dump skill can help with fire immunes that won't break. Your physical damage won't be great with just Meteor as a dump skill, but it'll be enough. I mean, I'm struggling to think that this won't just be a 5 out of 10 here. I know I said good. That's an average rank. That's a really good rank for a Sorc. I don't think many Sorcs can do Ubers, or will be able to do Ubers as well as this does. It's gonna have good uptime. You have something to deal with immunes, and really the only kicker is you're gonna need to bring the rejuvenation pots for your mercenary. You're not really gonna take a whole lot of damage as long as you're doing things correctly. So gearing ease, it's expensive. Infinity, F Fort, 2 dragons, probably Akira's to make up the res, the fire facets, 3 out of 10 here. It's a lot of runes for a specialty class. I'm throwing it 2 points because there's a decent, easy starter gearing path for fire, as you all will see when Meteor comes out by Wapinator, sometime tomorrow-ish. And you can obviously just run around with without the 2 dragons in the meantime, though your EP will be smaller than people with 5 Hydras. Playstyle Ease. This is easy to play. There's no aiming, and it's just to run around and whee while the Hydras provide fireball death. I mean, make sure the Merc is well geared, juiced Merc, you need that, and you don't ever have to go back to town. Teleport gets you out of jam. It's easy peasy aside from the occasional Sorc squishiness. 8.5 out of 10. So overall, that is a 6.83 out of 10, which is really good for a Sorc, since most Sorcs are near useless in Ubers solo. I mean, the class is fun, it's fast, it's a little silly, it's sort of the thing I like about PD2. It's weird and odd, it's unique. I think that's what I like the most, honestly. I do have a soft spot, maybe I'm ranking this too high, but I just have such a soft spot for weird-ass builds. And Hydra Sorc, well, most people who run fire run combustion, and this just uses the Dragon Rune Ward, which I haven't seen anybody in-game do. I'm sure there's someone out there with it, but I just love these odd, weird builds, and this is definitely one of them. So, as I said, we're working on getting Meteor. We just have to fix Wapinator's audio settings, and I'll probably get that pumped out tomorrow. And hopefully by Friday we can start working on Lightning Sorc, which I know a lot of people are looking forward to. And we'll go from there. See you guys later. Get out of my channel.